Hello, year two. It's maths time. So get your maths hats on and get those brains thinking. We are going to start today with another fluency challenge. I have the word more and the word less. Then I have lots of words underneath which mean one of these things. So can you put them into the correct box? Pause the video now and have a go. Then press play and see if you were correct. Okay, greater means more. Fewer means less. Bigger means more. Lower means less. Higher means more. Lesser means less. Larger means more, and smaller means less. I wonder if you were correct. Okay, time to move on to our fractions, our new chapter again to continue our learning this week. So we have a let's focus task. Have a look at the picture of a cake. How can Ravi and Hannah share the cake equally? There are some questions below. How many equal pieces do you need to make? How many ways can you find? How can you be sure they are equal? Again, you might want to get a square piece of paper to help you with this, just like we did yesterday. If you want to, pause the video and go and collect one. Now I would like you to have a go at answering those questions. Again, I'd like you to pause the video and have a think, do some working out, maybe fold that paper and see if you can come up with some answers. When you're ready, press play again and we'll find out what to do. Okay, so when we share something with two people, each person has one out of two parts. So maybe if you did a bit of folding, maybe your fold lines looked like the picture underneath Hannah over here. What is each part called when we have two equal pieces? So there's lots of things on the screen to look at there. We've got this bar that says one whole. We've got these two bars which are equal, one part out of two, and this is one part out of two. Now we write this fraction like this: 1 out of 2, 1 part out of 2 altogether. And we actually call this a half. So when you hear people say 1/2 or half of something, this is what that looks like as a fraction. Okay, let's move on. If we know that 1 part out of 2 parts, 2 equal parts, is called 1/2, then what is the name of each part when something is shared into 4 equal parts? This is a bit like what we were doing yesterday when we shared into 4 equal parts. We actually call these quarters. You might have heard somebody say 1/4, or you might have heard somebody say 1/4, because it is a part. This would be 1 part out of 4 equal parts. Okay, I wonder what the fraction would look like if we wrote this down. Pause the video and have a go at writing down. If we gave one of these pieces away, there we are, What would that fraction look like to write down? Pause your video and have a go. Okay, so that should hopefully look like one of these at the bottom. A 1, and then our line, and then a 4. 1 part out of 4. Remembering that they are all equal. That would be 1/4. Notice how the size of the slices are becoming smaller as they are shared between more people. So if I had my one whole cake, my big yellow cake at the top, if I only shared it between 2 people, 1/2 for me and 1/2 for Miss Pope, then we each get this much. But if we asked Mrs. Eastwood and Mrs. Bartolini to share as well, then we would have 4 people and we would have 1/4 each. They would be equal, just like this. Today we are learning to be able to recognize, find, name and write 1/2 and 1/4. Okay, let's have some more thinking time. If 1/2 means 1 part out of 2 equal parts, have a go at reading some of these other fractions. What would this one say? And what would this one say? Well, I'm going to say this one shows 1 part out of 3 equal parts. And this one shows 1 part out of 8 equal parts. I could call this 1/3, and I could call this one 1/8. I have a challenge under here as well. If I move this out of the way, I wonder if anyone knows what this says. So I could say we have 2 parts out of 4 equal parts. I might say that is 2/4. Okay. How many equal parts has the whole been shared into? Let's check. This cake, this whole cake, has been shared into 3 equal parts. This is our denominator at the bottom of our fraction. This cake has been shared into 8 equal parts. Again, this is called our denominator at the bottom. This cake at the end has been shared into 4 equal parts. Our next question, how many of those equal parts is the fraction naming? Well, here, that's where we look at our numerator, our top number. How many of those equal parts? How many parts? Just one part out of the 3. 1 part out of the 8 equal parts. And our challenge, 2 parts out of the 4 equal parts. Okay, a bit of guided practice today. Now, at any point, if you want some time, you should just pause the video so that you can have a think and a go at answering these questions. Number 1, which pictures show 1/2, 1 part out of 2 equal parts of the shape shaded? Pause your video if you need. Here come the answers. This blue and white shape here shows 1/2, 1 part out of 2 equal parts. The orange shape does not show 1/2 because the parts are not equal. This green and white shape shows 1/2 because the 2 parts are equal. But this pink one does not show 1/2. The 2 parts are not equal. Question 2. Which picture shows 1/4 of the shape shaded? Now I'm looking at my denominator, my bottom number, and it shows me that I am looking for shapes with 4 equal parts. Well, this shape only has 2 equal parts, so it can't be that. This shape has 4 parts. They look equal, and one of them is shaded. 1 part out of 4 equal parts. This shows 1/4. This next shape also shows 1/4, 1 part out of 4 equal parts. These two at the bottom are interesting. This shape with the pink shows 4 parts, but they are not equal, so that is not 1/4. However, this shape is very interesting because it shows 4 parts. Now, while they don't look the same, I can see that if I folded this piece of paper, these triangles on top of each other, they would be exactly equal. And if I folded these 2 rectangles on top of each other, they would be exactly equal. And finally, if I folded these 2 squares on top of each other, this square and this square, they would be equal. Wow, that's a tricky question. This is actually showing 1/4. Which picture shows 1/2 or 1/4 of the shape shaded? You should be getting good at this now, so I'm not going to talk through this one. I'm just going to put some ticks on the halves. I'll choose a different colour for quarters. This shows a half. This shows a quarter. Let's colour those in. See, red and green. Okay, this shows a quarter. This is not equal. This is not equal. This shows 1/4. This shows 1/4. This is only 3 parts. This is 4 parts, but it shows 2 of them. Wow. So this shows 2 out of 4. 2 parts out of 4 equal parts. Actually, some of you may have noticed that that is the same as a half. Finally, we're going to match some of these. So 1/2, what does that match to? 1 part out of 2 equal parts is 1/2, and this one, 1 part out of 4 equal parts, can be called 1/4 and can be called 1/4. 2 matches for that one. I finally have this, which says 1, and that says 1. When we talk about one whole cake. Okay. Moving on for your independent learning. Showing half and quarter. The first question says circle the pictures that show half of the shape shaded. The second question says circle the pictures that show 1/4 or 1 part out of 4 equal parts of the shape shaded. Remember just how important it is to look for those equal parts. On the second page today, it says colour. So you need to colour in. Colour the shapes below to show 1/2. 1 part out of 2 equal parts. And this says colour the shapes below to show 1/4. 1 part out of 4 equal parts. Good luck with your maths today. We'll look forward to seeing your pictures of your completed work.